It's the GOAT Coach, Coach T Floor, and welcome to CGY Sports Live. Wow, guys, we've had an incredible week of football in the Tri-City area. I mean, starting Wednesday with middle school, and of course, ending last night with Carver Tigers defeating the Appleton County Pirates in a game that was live streamed on CGY Sports, which we'll get to in a minute. It's been a great year for football, and I just want to touch on a couple of things. We're going to get into some more stuff on the live. We're going to start off talking about fan support and becoming a good fan and a supporter of these brands, not just mine, guys. You know, Doc, Money Boy TV, Georgia, Alabama broadcast. It's only a few of us doing these games, and I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure I'm speaking for them too. Guys, it's not cheap. It's not easy. We're not out here with our iPhones or smartphones just filming from a fan's perspective. We put in time for editing. We bring out gear that costs many times in the thousands. I'm the type of person, it depends what kind of game it is. Of course, I'm not going to bring out the same amount of gear that I do for CYF that I do a varsity game, but it's time consuming. You want your craft to be good. You want people to be able to watch it and say, okay, I'm proud to watch that. And that comes down for the audio equipment, the AV, audio and visual, the computers, the cables. I mean, I got $100 cables. So, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty or anything like that. All I ask is our counterparts in Atlanta and Birmingham and Charlotte, they get compensated well by the fans. It's not a thing where they even have to ask. It's already a kind of thing that's understood. And I must admit, last night, I don't know if everybody was for Carver. I'm sure that the majority of the people were for the Tigers. They looked out. Finally, it's like it comes to the last game of the season. But and I've done probably, I think, 4 Carver games this year. And just what the crowd, what we've been anticipating, what we've been looking for. Meaning, for instance, it's $15 to get in the game. If you make a donation to CGY Sports or Money Boy for $5 or $10, you still in the clear. You still haven't even paid what you would pay to get in the game. Not to mention if you add in the weather conditions, and I'm not going to say gas because, I mean, gas ain't that high. But if you stay in Midland and you ride the Otis Spencer, that's a little hike. It's a couple of dollars in gas. And once again, I'm not going to penny pinch like that, but it's all about support at the end of the day. Let's just take the dollar amount and say, hey, I respect what those guys are doing because they didn't have to do it. I mean, we don't have no contract with the city or GHSA or MCSD. It's really out of love. That's where it started from for me, out of love. But as I grew and wanted to show more love, fees become to pile on. With me wanting to have better equipment, better audio equipment. Even right now, I'm using this broadcasting system right now. I'm not on Facebook Live. I'm on an app called StreamYard, which I pay $50 a month to stream. And it makes me able to do things that you probably could do some of the stuff on Facebook, but it's way more tools to bring me a better experience for you guys. Like last night, I don't know if you watched the actual game at Carver, but it gave me the chance to put comments up. If you had a comment and you were talking, it gave me a chance to pin your comment up. So I mean, things like that means a lot to me, being able to give you the viewer experience. And you know, if some of the stuff was funny, you know how we as a Columbus, we're gonna always janking, keep it pimping. Make sure my mic was working because I don't see anybody on it right now. Like, oh, you know, sometimes when you messed up, they'll let you know. And that's another thing. We had a little hot mic incident at the beginning of the live stream, and I apologize for that. I really do. Well, I'm not racist, but I am a firm believer that we can throw the N word around like that. We can throw the C word around like that. The average person probably might say the N word 100 times a day and never say the C word like it's some kind of, I can't say that. We're going to say N word and C word. If we're going to talk slang and talk street, we're going to do it all the way around. But I do apologize because I did not know the mic was hot. And I did feel, just being honest, I felt that the broadcasters were being too biased. If I'm watching the game, y'all know I was going for Rothschild against Midland. But you see how I spent it. My son went to Midland. I went to Rothschild. I won't just if Midland scored, I was turned up for them too. I won't like, Midland scored again. I was like, oh, Midland Jaguars put the bun in the oven for the tutty. Them folks don't want to watch that game and feel like you as a play caller, a broadcaster, that you're lackluster when they score, especially when you're in the same city. So I felt that those broadcasters, and that's another thing I'm gonna talk about that, and we'll get to the game. Those broadcasters were definitely country boy bias, wherever they from, Berks County, Appleton, whatever they was from. But this is what we have to do, Columbus, and that goes back to this last segment with the fan support. It's a cost that we have to pay to get the rights for playoff games. Like I'm really figuring this out. So if just say we just come to the businesses and be like, hey, we want to be able to put your commercials. Y'all saw how they was running commercials. This is how much the sponsorship is for the playoffs. Come to you with that dollar amount. We got to depend on our local businesses to support us. And this is kind of outside the fan. This more on the business end, because I'm not going to ask no fan to sport no $1,000 bill. But I can ask businesses. I can say, hey, business, I'm gonna film your commercial. I'm gonna come give you logo spots and voice placement throughout this whole recording, throughout the whole event game for this dollar amount. So we got 6 or 7 businesses investing not investing in themselves, but investing in us. Then we can bring that experience. But see, that's what these out-of-town teams do. They pay that $1,000 fee. But you saw what kind of commercial they was running: insurance commercials, car lot commercials. We got to do that here. We got to get up out this old 1990s, 80s style of media in Columbus. We got to step. Excuse my language, I'm about to cut. We got to step the fuck up. Just had to say it like that. We got to. That's how we get these kids notoriety. I think I said that wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say. That's how we get more exposure to our market. That's how we get in front of more eyes. That's how we get these blue chip athletes seen by a bigger audience. We got there was 2 games in a row that these country bumpkins, we country too, but y'all know what I mean. They from 8,000 in the whole county. There's 8,000 people on University Road. They come here and they got the rights to these games because they're investing into their teams. They're investing into what they got going, and they believe. The businesses are. Once again, this part here is on the businesses. So all you independent business owners in Columbus and some of you people who got ties to the major brands, that's what we have to do to have the rights to the game. So you can have me and Doc broadcasting and filming. These are boys. We got these. Come on, man. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, back to the Carver Tigers. Them same country bunkers got BTA. They got beat to, what they say, belt to ass. Guess I done said the F word. I might well say ass. Belt to ass last night. Once again, when they played, guys, when they played, what is it called, the Pierce, when they played Pierce County, and they put that thing on Pierce County, and they were defending champions. I mean, it was that to me. I was like, when I saw that game, I was like, oh, it's over with. Carver finna just run through everybody. If this the best that y'all have, and we running through these folks, it's over with. Like, I know some people, they're a little more conservative. I know, but we got to seal the deal. Hey, man, y'all is size, preparation, execution. The Tigers look different from everybody else. It's like everybody else looks like they're not really ready for what's about to happen. They play Carver, and it's like, whoa. Like, this ain't what we used to. And Carver, to me, I can only speak from my experience with Carver. To me, Carver it's our, and I don't mean this in a bad way, it's all positive, it's all love. To me, Carver is an elite football team. It's elite. It's top of the food chain. It's some of the best athletes in the city are playing for this team. So if you have a team like that, when these and I'm not saying that, just not trying to be derogatory in any kind of form or fashion to these kids, but when you're playing Buck Tussle, whoever, it's a different game compared to you playing the best of the second best city in Georgia. Columbus is the second biggest city in Georgia. I mean, yeah, exactly, in Georgia. And when you got these athletes pulled together, and you're playing the best of the best, it's hard to get a W. I mean, it's gonna be hard, especially in 2A. They can't compete, and that's just what I've seen. Like I said, I'm not D. Ryan Carver. I'm just telling you what I filmed. I probably filmed one, two, three. I think maybe 4 or 5 games this year for the Tigers. Not for them, but I broadcast them, called a play-by-play, and I streamed the last 2, and I see it. And I watched. I actually had another event, but I watched the majority of the Harris County game, and I bet you guys run that shit back right now. Run that game back with the Harris County right now. Carver gets the W. Carver will get the W. They were still trying to fix some things in. Then it was early in the season, but they get the W. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. Get my coffee in. How them boys be drinking that lean? That's how the coffee tastes to me right now. Give me one more. And now you ain't mentioned that I've been up all night editing. Didn't get that much sleep, but I'm back. All right. I even put it out there like this. From what my eyes seen, you can run you can run them greenways against most of these boys. These greenways stump most of these boys, man. Shout to Coach Keg, man. That's just what I see, man. Columbus, we are, y'all know how it is, right? We are worst enemies too. But when we come together, man, we can really stamp our city for sports in the state of Georgia. Due to how our city is set up with all these high schools, I don't know what it's going to take for us to get to like 5A, North Side. I mean, I'm not going to talk about getting athletes in your school on this platform because I don't want to muddy the waters. But I think like Northside, the biggest school, and until they get their stuff together, we probably won't be on that playing field. But still, where we at, we got great, stellar athletes. And like I say, to me, with Carver being in this division, they're unstoppable. I mean, they make it look so easy. I think I started dozing off around the fourth quarter because, I mean, it was just so you watching the game, like, these boys they had big 25. And I like 25. He had some heart. But, they kept trying to fight and all that because they were getting mad, and it was already cold out there. These boys getting teed off on. It was easy money, man. So let's go to the game real quick, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Got to add to the stage. All right, so
Stumbling came in for the
teddies.
Big foot. Boo for the extra point. That's my little buddy. I always see him and his mom at work. 49.
This play right here was actually the first.
It's a go
play
Coach Team Flow, and the Carver Tigers put that BTA on the Appleton County Pirates today, guys. 49-6. This is the first play from scrimmage for the Carver Tigers for the tutty. And it was like this all night long. Appleton has never ran up against anything like the Carver Tigers. It was way too much. This is the scoop and poop. Scoop, 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 scoop from the 30 all the way to the end zone for another Carver touchdown, guys. This was easy pickings for the Carver Tigers. I tell people all the time that the Tigers are a elite football team. Here's the Apple Tigers. Big 25 broke one. Is he going to get away? Is he? Nah, I think not. Team was brought out of bounds by the Tigers, and they end up punting on the drive right here. But they did get the field goal off. Big 42-yarder. Boom! Big foot. Right through the uprights for the 3 points. They kicked 2 field goals on the day. Too much Tiger, too much Columbus, too much Otis Spencer. Them country boys were not used to what we had to bring them right here. Once again, Carver Tigers up the gut, fakes the handoff, got a man in the flat, boom! And this one right here, they actually called that a incomplete pass. To me, it looked good, but they called it incomplete. Didn't make no sense. They came right back on the other side and scored. Carver Tigers were too much for the Appleton Pirates, guys. This was a great game. They actually had some out-of-town broadcasters on the game. Didn't quite like that because they seemed a little biased. But at the end, that was a good tackle right there by the Pirates. Flag on the play for the face mask. Today, too much Tiger, too much Columbus, too much Otis Spencer. Them country boys were not used to what we had to bring right here. Once again, Carver Tigers up the gut, fakes the handoff, got a man in the flat, boom! And this one right here, they actually called that a incomplete
like I
pass.
said, man,
to me, it looked good, but they called it incomplete. Didn't make no
on
sense.
our page already, but I just want to give you guys some of the highlights that happened during the course of the game. It was total domination by the Carver Tigers. I don't see anybody getting in their way, of holding them back from the state championship. I'm claiming, I'm calling it right now. You got to speak to, fruition of what you want. Carver Tigers is bringing one back to the C-Town, man, and I'm so proud of those boys. Like I said, most definitely through middle school. Several of them I've been following since they played for over there with Mario now at the Raiders. But most definitely since that Fort. One of my big shot to Kingston. Kingston was one of my CGY Sports athletes that I was training over here in my gym, and he's a freshman defensive end, and I worked with him a couple of years, and I'm so proud of him. He was actually a top 300. He was over there at Dallas Cowboys at Jerry Jones World doing this thing, so he been about that life freshman, stepping on shit. So that's just what it is, man. You are dealing with an elite football team messing around with the Carver Tigers, and keep in mind that this is going to be going on for the next couple of years. They're going to teams outside in their same region, they're going to have to make some adjustments to even keep up with Carver, because they got a lot of juniors, juniors and sophomores, as well as a couple of freshmen on their team. So they're just going to keep winning, guys. Okay, but with that being said, we're going to get into our next conversation, guys, and that is about the Aaron Cohn Bulldogs. Now, me and the Bulldogs. Now, there's some schools that I don't like, and I'm just going to be real. Y'all know how the GOAT man do it. Y'all know I don't hold my tongue. If I do hold it, I hold it with two fingers. Ain't going to hold it too tight. And I hope I don't get in trouble with this. I'm just going to say it like this. Some of the middle schools on the north side, they soft, man. They soft as real talk. We had an incident earlier this year where kids were being intimidated by the Bulldogs. I'm on the sideline with them, and they're like, "Oh my God, look how big they are! They look like a freshman high school team." They really talking with fear before the game even started. And I'm like, I'm looking around to see where the coaches were at. It's like, this ain't no knock to the coach. Maybe he was doing something else. I don't know. But I know I got about 8 athletes right on the sideline looking at Aaron Cohn in fear. They've lost the game before it even started. And I'm like, hey, the only thing I did, I tried to cheer them up. Don't you know these guys reported me for telling them, hey, you guys can't be like that, man. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. You know all that bullshit. They got spanked, but still, you can't let them go in there thinking like that. Not talking like that. You got to be like, hey, man, you can't have no fear. You got to go out there and do your job, play your position, do your job. I'm not a coach, or I'm not a football coach, but I know how to cheer up some kids. And then when I said something, they were like, no, man, look at number 0, look at number 5. It was like numbers 1, 2, 3. Whoever got the single number, they looked at all them. They were like, we're gonna lose. I'm like, how you can't go in there like that, young man? It was like one little white boy. He was like, I'm ready to go out there and hit. I'm like, yeah, there, go, be like him. They looked at him like, this shit ain't gonna work. And they reported me. I actually talked to one of the, I'm not gonna put his name out there, an admin from the school. I was recording behind the scenes, pre-game. Can you take that video down? A lot of the parents are mad at you. I'm like, mad at me? Y'all parents were on the other side of the field. You didn't see your son cowering out. You should be mad at your son, not me. You should have looked at that video and said, hey, son, you can't be like that if you're going to play this sport. Go play something else. If you don't want to play this high-contact sport, you can't go out there. Don't represent our family like that. You should have spent it another way instead of getting mad at the mailman who brought you the bill. But I took it down. It's cool. But I will not be doing none of their games. So if they on y'all schedule next year, it's out of there. I'm not playing it. But back to Aaron Cohn. Like I said, I've been following them. I got them with that particular team. Those people from Aaron Cohn, y'all probably know who I'm talking about. Once again, I'll check it past. I get inboxes all day, guys. A lot of inboxes all day long. And it was brought to my attention about a certain subject. And I brought it on the CGY Sports Live. Got a lot of flack. And this was no knock on the Bulldogs. But it was just some things that I think that they didn't want to feel like, and this is my opinion, did nobody tell me this, I'm just speaking what I think happened. They didn't want nobody to think that their run was going to be watered down through situations, through situations that weren't wrong, I should say. They didn't do nothing wrong. But how it came to me was just like, nobody's going to be able to beat them with what they got over there. And I'm like, let's talk about it. And we had a little, little backing, nothing major, nothing like them snitches. But, as grown folks, we talked it all out, and we left it at that. I'm just trying to tell you my checkered past with the Bulldogs and how I still ate. You know what I'm saying? I can take it on the chin and keep it moving. Then the Battle of the Monsoon. I wasn't going to even film this game, but the anticipation between the Jaguars and the Bulldogs was just, everybody wanted to see this game. It was a damn rainstorm. And I was like, oh, man. So I went by Family Dollar, got me a poncho. I had my 4 Walmart bags. I wrapped up my cameras. And I was like, it's going to be what it's going to be. I got my equipment out there. I was like, the water get in, it's going to be messed up. But everybody wanted to see this game. I wanted to see the game. So we did that, man. And it's been, like I said, watching this team play. And I have relationships with people over there. I'm not going to bring them up. They like to remain anonymous. And I respect that. I be trying to get him. He don't want to break. But basically, what's going on was told to me is going to happen. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And they don't really brag a lot. Even when I put, like, on my social media, the old folks' Facebook, you watching on Facebook, you probably in your 30s or 40s. But all the youngsters follow me on Instagram. So I got a real good bead on how things go from 2 different points of view. Facebook, the old folks, Instagram, the young folks. I can see in my analytics, my average person watching on Instagram is at 18. The average person watching on Facebook is between 35 and 44. So I know my demographics, and I market to them that way. I don't hardly see no kids from Aaron Cohn interacting in a negative way on Instagram. So I know that they've been told not to do that. Because most kids like beat to death and they talk a little trash talk. I don't hardly hear no. If it is somebody from Aaron Cohn, it's not a football player. It's probably somebody in the student body. So they're well disciplined. They're a well disciplined team. But behind closed doors, everything that's happening was told, hey, this is what's gonna happen. This is what we're gonna do this season. And I ain't been told not one lie yet. Not one lie yet. Aaron Cohn is going to the big dance, the city championships against their it's crazy. This is how I look at it. I called it the Battle of Midland. But before we get to that, I want to show you guys this play. Awesome kid. They call him Zach Watts. I call him 100,000. I call him 1K, 100,000 watts, because this kid is electric. And it's just one play I want to show you guys. Let me pull it up. He read his thing 95 yards. It was a pick 6. And watch the stiffy. Boom.
Oh, man.
Shout out to TJ.
He just read that
might come all the way back.
Who is this?
Is that a 40?
Oh, my
Wham.
God.
Oh, my
That's
God. I felt
30,
so, whoever that kid is,
20.
I salute him. He got heart.
Touchdown.
This young man.
That
Watts.
That really was a tough one.
Single-handedly.
But
Wow.
and I got so many plays. Like I'm really like I'm gonna on GP. I'm gonna put together real with him after the season, because even with the game that I filmed with, man, all of them, the game, the snitches, the monsoon, that game right there. I got so many plays with this kid. I realized, man, he got some real like highlight film. And of course, you got to have a nucleus to your football team. I'm not just saying, he's like God Allah on this football team. But you got to have a nucleus, and he is definitely the inspiration to this football team. So shout out to him. And I think they went to Miami, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll get to that at the end of the broadcast about when it comes to outside of the public system. Guys, y'all got to let me know what's going on. Like, I have no knowledge. I have no ties to those extracurricular activities. So a parent was like, why you don't never cover that? I have no knowledge. It's my children own. My kid in college now. So when he was in the public system, I had a little bit more insight. But now he's in college. I have, you gotta let me know. But the Battle of Midland, guys. Part 2, I should say. Shout out to Coach Edwards, man. Coach Edwards actually coached my son. He went to Midland. He got One of his proteges, I remember a kid he coach Jackson Meeks. Jackson Meeks did real good this week with Syracuse beating last week, but Syracuse beating Miami. I need them to get them out the way from my Alabama Roll Tide. I need them out the way. So shout to Jackson Meeks, straight from Midland. I think he went to Central, then he went to Georgia, then he went to Syracuse. But shout to Jackson Meeks for making that happen for me, man. You know, he had a real big game against Miami to clinch the win. But when it comes to this Battle of Midland, just think about it, guys. Just think about what's going on. When it comes to the football, back in the day, we used to hear Eddie, Rock, Fort. You have two teams from Columbus North. That's what I call it, like his own city. You know, Bradley Park and all that up there. Midland. Midland was once upon a time its own thing to the county consolidated. But we have two teams from Midland, Georgia, in the chip. That goes to show you how, when it comes to talent spreading, influence, good coaching, it's not just a south or east side thing anymore. Both of the teams are coming out the north. So, you know, that goes to say something about those programs too, and being able to get those kids in development, especially the ones that coming out of CYF probably already developed, like Watts. But Battle of Midland Part 2. The first time it was a shutout. Like I said, nobody scored on Aaron Cohn all year long. I've been to several games, man. That defense is tough. It's tough. Those linebackers, the secondary is crazy with the Watts boy back there. So this game right here, because Midland was fighting now, they ain't really opened up until the second half. And you know how it is with kids, especially at that age. They still emotional, get down a little bit, start moping. They ain't got that same fire in them. God willing, the weather be good. I'm not going to say the outcome be different. I don't know. I can hedge. If I was leaning one way, I think I'd be leaning toward the orange and black a little bit. But I've seen Coach Edwards. He's a man. Coach Edwards. Now, once again, I say I'm not a DR, but Coach Edwards, even in defeat, he never stopped coaching. And he don't, like, how I seen him coach, it was inspirational. That's the kind of coach that I like. I don't like that old school yelling and just belittling. I like the inspiration. Come on, guys, we got to keep in the fight. Even when it was evident that they were going to lose, Coach Edwards stayed in that game. He stayed coaching them boys. And even in defeat with a goose egg, they had to chin up. I mean, it's rough. It's rough, especially in the rain. So I expect a different game this time. This for all the marbles. Everybody going to be watching. But unless my dog can come up with a game plan to stop that running back, it's going to be a long night for Midland. But if anybody can do it, Coach Edwards can figure it out. I know he's watching film. I know he's trying to get there because there's a lot of bragging rights going on with that, man. But it's all for the kids. And guys, I'm about to end this really prematurely. But I got started a little bit late today. But real quick, man. Last subject I want to talk about real quick is travel football. I'm getting a lot of inbox about that this week. And then I'm not going to mention the situation, but we had a situation in the comment section on one of my pages. I'm not versed in travel ball. Like I said, I have no skin in the game. I have no children, no affiliated with any children that play travel ball. But do you think travel ball and playing public football is too much on a child? Or nowadays, do these kids need that type of exposure to excel? My opinions on it personally is I believe football is a very brutal sport. I see massive hits and collisions in this sport. I mean, we like to see it, but it comes at a cost. These kids take a lot of damage in this sport. And I think if you're playing the best of the best, you're going to take some more damage along your journey. So I believe it's a thing that, and look at all the rules that they got in college and pros for player safety. If we don't have these same barriers up for these kids, man, they can get hurt real bad. Kid for Alabama A&M tragically lost his life. I mean, that happens sometimes in football due to a head injury. And these kids now, these ain't the same kids 15, 20 years ago. These kids, look at Watts. I mean, Watts could probably play right now and definitely play. If you look at Kobe at Carver, he kind of reminds me of him with the shiftiness and the footwork. So, I mean, he could probably play, just being honest, man. maybe get a little bit bigger, but varsity football right now, I don't know what grade he's in. I don't know if he's in the 7th or the 8th, but just being honest. So they take a lot of damage, and as parents, we got to protect our kids. I think it's too much myself. But like I say, I don't knock no parent who that's your child. Do what you want to do. But I think if you're playing at the highest level, you're taking punishment. And then also somebody told me, man, just a couple games. It's not even that much. But I'm like, if you're playing a whole season, you splitting, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Even on, unless you're you're blessed financially, that's the wear and tear on your travel, your financial part of it, spending that money. And like I said, that's just the tangibles. When it comes to your child's safety, that's something else you got to worry about. But I want to know what you guys think. You think kids should be able to do both, or should it be regulated to say, hey, you're going to play this or that? Not to mention, I know some of the kids, and this is where it gets a little slippery slope, because some kids do play CYF in middle school. And I don't know if it's more like the twos or if they're started. I don't know if somebody's a start on CYF and a start in middle school. But, I would feel like if you did a rule for travel ball, it had to be the same with CYF. And I think CYF used to be like that, where you had to pick one or the other, and then they start letting them do both. So, I mean, as a parent, I'm always going to be like, we got to protect the kids. But, if you got a blue chip kid and you want that exposure and you want your child to compete with the best of the best, maybe it's not a bad thing. You got to let me know. So, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want mine taking all that damn. I just seen them boy, clack. I just seen two. I remember at Rothschild, kid broke his leg. First game with Richards. Pop, snap. They say he wanted a honey bun or something. He was hungry out there. I'm like, who thinks about food after you snapped your ankle in half? But that comes with it, guys. So, once again, this is host Mother's Coach Go. This is CGY Sports Live. Get in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think about all these subjects. What do you think Carver's going to do at the state championship? I say victory. Who do you like in the middle school championship? Aaron Midland. And what do you think about travel ball, and should kids be able to play both sports at the same time? It's the host Mother's Coach, the GOAT, Coach T Flow. Peace.